2026 is not just another movie year. It's one of those rare moments where Hollywood goes all in. Legendary directors, massive franchises, long-awaited adaptations, and films that could either redefine cinema or completely divide audiences. Today on Match Cut, we're breaking down 15 of the biggest, boldest, and most anticipated movies officially scheduled for 2026. What they are, who's behind them, and why everyone's watching closely. Let's get into it.
Wuthering Heights, a new adaptation of Emily Bronte's novel, starring Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. This version leans hard into obsession, isolation, and emotional violence. Less romance, more psychological intensity. It's a reminder that prestige literature adaptations are far from dead.
Do you want me to stop?
Project Hail Mary. Directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller and starring Ryan Gosling, this film is based on Andy Weir's novel, the author of The Martian. The story follows an astronaut who wakes up alone in space with no memory, tasked with saving humanity from extinction. It blends hard science with emotional isolation and unexpected humor. Early readers of the novel often say this story feels unfilmable, which makes this adaptation even more intriguing.
I'm gonna call you Rocky. Thumbs up. Nope, that's thumbs down. You would do the thumbs up.
The Super Mario Galaxy movie. After the massive success of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Nintendo expands the universe. This animated sequel takes Mario beyond the Mushroom Kingdom into cosmic territory. More worlds, higher stakes, and expanded lore. Nintendo's hands-on involvement remains one of the franchise's biggest strengths. The Devil Wears Prada 2. Yes, Miranda Priestly is back. Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci return for a sequel set in the modern fashion industry. The film explores how luxury, media, and influence have changed in the digital age, and whether fear still works as leadership. The original film became more relevant with time, not less, which explains why a sequel now makes sense.
The Mandalorian and Grogu. Star Wars returns to theaters with Pedro Pascal as Din Djarin, directed by Jon Favreau. This is the first theatrical Star Wars film centered outside the Skywalker saga. The story continues the bond between a bounty hunter and a Force-sensitive child, but on a much larger scale. It's a clear signal that Disney sees this duo as the future face of the franchise.
Good shot, baby.
Of a new order.
I'm Din Djarin, and his Grogu.
Disclosure Day. Directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, and Colin Firth, Disclosure Day centers on a near future where a mandated worldwide revelation exposes long-hidden truths, forcing journalists and citizens alike to confront the fallout of a truth that can no longer be denied. The film blends sci-fi with political tension, promising a story about belief, fear, and societal reaction when the impossible becomes undeniable. Toy Story 5. Against all expectations, Pixar brings back Woody and Buzz once again, voiced by Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. This chapter explores toys in a world dominated by screens and digital attention. It's less about adventure and more about relevance. Pixar executives have described it as a story about being forgotten.
Hi there, I'm Lily Pad. Let's play!
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. DC launches a new era with Millie Alcock as Supergirl. This is not a hopeful, earthbound superhero story. It's a spacefaring, morally complex journey inspired by the acclaimed comic. James Gunn has called it one of the most important films in DC's rebooted universe.
Do others on your planet have powers like you? What's Superman like?
And I see the truth.
Moana live action. Disney brings Moana into live action, directed by Thomas Kail. Dwayne Johnson returns as Maui, alongside newcomer Catherine Lagaaya as Moana. The film retells the original journey across the ocean, focusing on identity, courage, and heritage. Disney has promised cultural authenticity and large-scale practical environments. Interestingly, this is one of the fastest animated to live-action transitions Disney has ever done. The Odyssey, 2026. Christopher Nolan takes on one of the oldest stories ever told. The Odyssey stars Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, and Robert Pattinson. This is a large-scale adaptation of Homer's epic, following Odysseus' long and brutal journey home after the Trojan War. Nolan is known for bending time, and here he's dealing with myth, memory, and survival. This is also Nolan's first time working directly with ancient mythology, something fans have been speculating about for years.
Promise me you will come back.
What if I can't?
Spider-Man Brand New Day. Tom Holland returns as Peter Parker in a soft reset Spider-Man story. After the events of No Way Home, Peter is completely on his own. No multiverse, no mentors, no safety net.
We ready?
The film reportedly focuses on street-level threats and personal responsibility. The title comes from a controversial comic arc that reshaped Spider-Man's world entirely.
Digger. Directed by Alejandro G. Inarritu and starring Tom Cruise, Jesse Plemons, and Riz Ahmed, Digger follows Digger Rockwell, a powerful but flawed man thrust into chaos after he inadvertently triggers a global catastrophe and must fight to prove he's humanity's savior even as everything he loves unravels around him. This dark comedy blends satire, character drama, and intense emotional stakes in a way we haven't seen from Cruise in years. The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. Directed by Francis Lawrence, this prequel explores earlier Hunger Games events. The film expands Panem's history and the systems behind the spectacle. It's about control, propaganda, and how myths are manufactured. The franchise continues to mirror real-world power structures intentionally.
These games are gonna be different.
Dune Part 3. Denis Villeneuve concludes his Dune trilogy with an adaptation of Dune Messiah, starring Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Florence Pugh, and Jason Momoa. This film explores the consequences of power, prophecy, and worship. It's quieter, darker, and far more political than the previous chapters. Villeneuve has confirmed this will be his final Dune film.
There are paths even I refuse to see.
Avengers: Doomsday. Marvel's next major event film arrives at the end of 2026. Details are still tightly guarded, but it's positioned as a turning point for the MCU, a story dealing with collapse, control, and global consequences. Marvel insiders have described it as less spectacle-driven and more structural. So these are 15 films that could define 2026. Some will dominate the box office, some will split audiences, and a few might quietly become classics. Tell us in the comments, which one are you most excited for? Subscribe to Match Cut, and until the next cut.